Africa is not wanting to be powered. Africa is leapfrogging. For decades, Africa has been framed as the energy problem the world needs to solve. Too poor, too unstable, too dependent. But that framing is not just wrong, it's outdated. And it is actively binding us to one of the most important energy transitions happening anywhere in the world. Africa is not wanting to be powered. Africa is leapfrogging. Africa has something most of the world does not. The highest solar potential on Earth, vast wind corridors, young, fast-growing populations that are enthusiastic about making a positive climate impact, fewer fossil fuel lock-ins. All of these contribute to them making tremendous leaps when it comes to not just securing an energy sector that is self-sufficient, but an energy sector that is overtly reliant on clean sources. Europe had coal, America had oil, Africa has sun, wind, and the ability to build energy systems from scratch. And when you don't have decades of fossil fuel infrastructure to protect, something interesting happens. You move faster. Morocco has built one of the largest solar plants on Earth. Kenya now gets the majority of its electricity from renewables. In Nigeria, solar mini-grids are powering communities that the national grid never reached. This is no longer simply about replacing fossil fuels. It's about bypassing them entirely and reaching a community that has spent decades on end in the darkness by overtly being reliant on existing infrastructure that essentially comes from fossil fuels. That's the part that the global conversation keeps missing. The most radical energy transition in Africa is not just happening in capital cities, it's happening far from power plants and pipelines. Decentralized solar systems are doing what billion-dollar power grid projects never did. They're reaching people. No waiting for governments, no massive debt, no decades-long timelines. This is energy access without permission. Africa contributes to less than 4% of global emissions, the entirety of Africa. But it will account for a huge share of future energy demand. If Africa powers that future with renewables, not just Africa, but the world wins. If it locks into fossil fuel due to restrictions and acute geopolitical constraints, we all lose. And that is exactly why Africa's future energy choices are not regional, they're planetary. What's frustrating is the fact that the global narrative still treats Africa as a risk and not an opportunity. But the reality is this: Africa is one of the most attractive renewable frontiers on Earth. And the longer governments and investors ignore that, the more they will fall behind. This is not just about megawatts or markets. It's about a clinic that can refrigerate its vaccines. It's about a school that can run at night. It's about a business that does not shut down when the sun sets. It is blatantly obvious that energy changes lives. And in Africa, it's happening quietly, creatively, and at scale. The story of Africa and its energy has been told the wrong way for far too long. This is no longer a continent that is waiting to be saved. This is the continent that is building the future faster than the world realizes. And if you want to understand where the climate fight will truly be won or lost, you need to start paying attention here. This is noviksgiven, where we tell climate stories the world keeps missing. And if this changed how you see the world, subscribe. More stories like this are already on their way. And if you're in the renewable ecosphere, or if you want to do something actively for climate action, I urge you to check out Planet First Press. We have a collective wherein we are helping incubate change makers from the ground up. If you or someone you know is a change maker and needs help in establishing your very first steps towards the greater good, not just for your community, but in turn the world, we want to hear from you. All the information is going to be down in the description. I will see you guys in the next one.